Hey guys, welcome to the video. You already know the topic. It's work less, live more, make more. Is this actually possible? Well, today we're going to find out. We're going to think about it, we're going to discuss it, and I'm going to give you my thoughts. You can let me know in the comments what you think. Let's have an open discussion and get to the bottom of it. So as someone that's been an entrepreneur now for over 10 years, you always run into, at some point in your journey, you've seen it with all the different entrepreneurs online, that at some point in your journey you run into a place of probably a lack of purpose. So really, if I reflect on my own journey, I've got to a point now where I have good money, I have a nice apartment, I can eat, I'm flexible with time, I can do pretty much whatever I'd like to do. The biggest thing, however, is that nothing scares me anymore. I'm not afraid of anything. I've been through too much hardship to even think about the smallest thing scaring me. And that sounds like a good thing, but it also runs into a place of then you feel no desire to do any more than you're already doing. And that's when, you run into a different phase of life that you haven't been in before. If we think about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, it's a common theory that whenever someone has their relationships in order, they have enough money to feed themselves, they've got a good home, that once all these things are complete, then it's another phase where people look to find out who they truly are whenever they're not chasing money, the distraction of money. And of course, me personally, I probably could do with some better finances, but I have always been drawn to that journey to be truly myself and explore life. It never was about the money for me, not really. It was about living life to the fullest and without limits, to unlock that freedom that you get with running your own business and having greater income. And I think that you get to a certain point whenever you think about money, that money actually has no value anymore. And it's a good process to go through. Not to disrespect money, but to break its importance and to understand that it's just a tool. It's absolutely no reflection of who you are. Although usually the quality of person you are, you will probably see results of good income, good finances. That is a byproduct of your successes. So when I think about my journey to self-actualization, and I'm just looking through some notes that I've made here today, what's next for me, or what would be my calling, not in a religious sense, but my journey of life, what would that look like? And I have been through the process before where you think you don't have to have a job that you enjoy. Make your money, then go spend your money at the weekend. However, I do think that for full alignment, if you can get a job that serves as you can see a true purpose and why it's worthwhile, a reason to do it, that's much more powerful. So I've been pondering on this thought of, obviously work is essential. You do need money. And secondly, you do need that fulfillment. You do need to believe that what you're working on has a purpose, that there's a reason to do it. Otherwise you'll just sit here on the sofa or the couch and do nothing. And I was watching last night, there was a successful international lawyer, and I have never thought about going into the field of law or anything like that. It never was in my mind to do a degree in that sort of thing. But I realized when this lawyer said in the podcast, and he was a very successful businessman also, he had many supercars, and that was the topic mostly of the podcast. He said that his biggest accomplishment is getting people back on track, as if nothing even happened in their life. And I find that very interesting to think, wow, that is powerful. That does carry purpose. That someone needs your help. They are in fear, and you can be the person to say, hey, I've got your back here. We're going to do our best. We'll get through it together. And something clicked with me in that, wow, that's a fight. And you're fighting obviously with the law or to defend your innocence. That feels like a fight that no matter what the circumstances are, that you would step up and go, we got to go to work here. And that's the fire that I want, and I think that everyone should have. It's like, okay, this is worth fighting for. Let's get up, let's do this. And additionally, I'm always drawn to sort of psychology and understanding yourself better, and also to improve your overall experience here. I'm always drawn to that. I'm always reading books on that. And in fairness, they have come to overlap, and I've probably got to a level now where I'm quite sufficient. I do have my own challenges, but don't we all? And that's probably quite normal. So the field of psychology and sort of helping people like that is something that's really truly interested me as well. I would never be a nurse, I'd never be a doctor. I don't feel the alignment there. But the fact of being a lawyer and you can help someone whenever they're scared and they're fighting the law, or a psychologist or psychiatrist, that, you know, it's a really difficult challenge to go through, and that you can help people improve their lives. In school, I never read many books. I was not interested in books. However, when I probably got to about 16, I borrowed a book off my friend called The Secret, and I realized that I had full control of my life. And I realized that my actions and my thoughts were a direct impact on my happiness, contentment, success, and that gave me control again. And I got addicted to reading books. I'm not the guy you would think would read books, or not back then anyway, but I did. No time for fiction. It was totally, how can I help myself? How can I improve? And it all started with that one experience. And that pulled me down the field of understanding yourself and getting fulfillment from, you know, improving your life. So on personal reflection, I always come back to, how can I spend more time becoming a better version of myself? And it's not necessarily that I look to my business to do that, but I would like it to be the case that it's intertwined, because I feel like then I would get up and I would have a spring in my step to get to work, do what's necessary, and additionally make the money that's necessary for survival. So if they could intertwine, that would be a positive. So with that consideration, that I'm always looking towards becoming a better version of myself, I think along the lines of strength, mindset, sport, adventure, exploration, seeing something new, trying something new. And any of these things are absolutely impossible if you work for someone and you live day to day in a regular job. However, I have been able to have these experiences for myself because I've built a business that allows me to do this. I have a great team that works for me. I built this from nothing, And that has given me the chance to explore some of what I've mentioned. And I'm always drawn back to that. It's like, how can we do more and more and more of that? But we also need the money to survive. So again, on personal reflection, I'm drawn to that. But I've also spent the last 3 years working in business systems, mostly email automation, text message automation, push notifications, things like this. So, it crossed my mind that the path to self-actualization comes through business automation. Therefore, work less, live more, make more is possible. The final part, make more, if you have an efficient, simple business, you will make more than if you have a complicated business, because a complicated business is not scalable. I think they say simple scales, complexity fails, and that's true. So that's where I've got to. Work less, live more, make more. Self-actualization is possible through business automation, because you need the time, you need the money, and they both align. And I, for one, have a lot of experience in the area of business automation, and I'm drawn constantly to self-actualization, becoming the best version of myself that I can be. It's my first time on this earth, and I want to know how good it can get. I want to be the best version of myself. And through business automation, I can do that. So my intentions is to continue to discuss these topics of self-actualization, business automation, working less, living more, making more, what it means to live more, and how we can all balance these different areas to become the ultimate version of ourselves and let our business thrive amid all of these ventures and exploration of self that we all desire. So thank you for watching this video. Before posting, I'm going to prepare a mailing list so you can sign up to that. I'll be doing a newsletter. I'll be sharing free resources. I want to make this into a discussion, a community of ambitious people that want to spend more time doing sport, in the outdoors, traveling, making more money, improving their business, delivering a really good service or product to their customers. I want us to come together on this mission and to align and find out how good we can become, how good this life can become. So, like the video, subscribe, join the mailing list. Let's see how good it can get. Thanks for watching.